Hey guys, welcome back to Review a Day. Today I'm going to talk about something you may not know exists, although now that I've said that, probably most of you do. But Jeph Loeb and Tim Sal's first collaboration, which is Challengers of the Unknown Must Die. Now, Jeph Loeb and Tim Sale, of course, are known for their Colors series over at Marvel, as well as a lot of their Batman work over at DC, among other things. Now, I guess they're both better known for Heroes, which is hilarious. But they started off, the first time they worked together was this volume right here, which collects their series Challengers of the Unknown Must Die, as well as a short story that was released after the series, I believe. Here's the thing about Challengers that I didn't know at the beginning. I started reading this book, I read it a while ago. I thought, wait a second, this is exactly like the Fantastic Four. You have four scientists, well, four different types. You know, you have a hothead, you have scientists, etc., end up going to space, end up dying, and are living their lives on borrowed time. That's the whole idea. Turns out I was stupid because they're not ripping off Fantastic Four. Fantastic Four was actually ripping off Challengers of the Unknown. This is a little history lesson for you guys. Challengers of the Unknown was created by Jack Kirby in 1957, and then he ripped off his own idea in 1961 to create Fantastic Four, which essentially was Challengers of the Unknown, except with superpowers. So, Challengers of the Unknown is the the original thing, and I think this volume goes a long way to proving why Challenge of the Unknown is valid in our modern world. In fact, that's the conflict they're dealing with pretty much this entire book. Loeb and Sale do some interesting stuff playing with the comic book form and the idea of stories throughout this whole volume, where the challengers are feeling like they're not relevant anymore, they don't know what their purpose is, and it's about them finding their purpose again. In terms of Loeb and Sale's work, naturally, because it's their first thing, and it's the first thing they did, it's not quite as polished as later things like Long Halloween or most of the Color series, but it's still very interesting and very worth it, especially if you are a fan of fan of theirs. Apparently, I can't speak today, so that's going on. In any case, I very much recommend picking this up. There's certainly some Morrison-esque touches in terms of dealing with story going on here. So if you're a fan of Morrison, if you're a fan of Loeb, a fan of Sale, this is pretty much an essential collection that you may not have known existed. So go search it out in your comic book store or have them order it for you. I will see you guys tomorrow on Review a Day.